Okay. Shelby, Taylor, and
Paul, the Masters.
how did we meet?
Yeah, Jason and I were out one evening here in Cincinnati,
At a Reds game.
Reds game,
Mm-hmm.
and we it was a typical guys' night out, and we were hovering at a local establishment and
At a
just
patio.
on a patio, and lo and behold, down below.
I was waiting for my car to be pulled up from ballet, and I hear two guys talking about me, and I had just enough attitude, I guess, at the time for the night, and turned around and cornered them on it. They weren't quite catcalling, but I knew that they were talking about me, so I cornered them on it, and Jason started telling me about Paul.
Yeah.
And
Ultimate wingman.
yes, Ultimate Wingman, and was trying to sell me on Paul. And I threw my number out as I was jumped in my car, not thinking it was my real number. Lo and behold, it was, and he
And I remembered.
remembered after a night out with the boys, and we started talking, and the rest is history. So first mammogram turned out went from need to see you for an ultrasound to a biopsy, and biopsy to diagnosis. So that's kind of how we found it. An invasive ductal carcinoma, stage 2. Luckily, I didn't hit my lymph nodes, but the size of the tumor brought it up a higher. So they found 2 different spots within my breast.
Triple negative.
Yes, triple negative, which as a result current treatment requires chemo. When I was told I was having a port put in, I panicked. The idea of having something under my skin that's not supposed to be there, and how it was going to be like accessed, and the idea of an IV even made me nauseous. So Paul got the idea to start drawing pictures on it between right before our treatment. So it became our kind of
Ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every morning before we would go, we would sit, and I'd get out the markers, and I would draw some picture over top of the port, so at least it looked fun, it looked something. And actually on the very first one, she had already kind of named this port / cancer / enemy within Alfred.
Alfred, my alien.
Alfred or alien. So he that was the first drawing, I think, was kind of was Alfred there with I think flowers. I think it was the first picture, and basically saying, "Here I am," and then just every basically week, or at the beginning it was every other week for a few months, and then every week we always put a picture on.
I never knew what the pictures were going to be. It was always a big reveal.
It's funny because people will even say,
"Oh,
my favorites," and I did one with a shark eating Alfred. That was probably one of my favorites.
Then there was the Scream, the painting, the Scream, and then there was a
with Snoopy.
Wile E. Coyote, and then there were for the holidays there would be a Cupid. I think St. Patrick's Day there was
we had St. Patrick's Day.
We had a leprechaun with him, and
we had Easter.
Yeah, Easter. We've had a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
In there. If there was a way that he could creatively figure out how to stomp out Alfred, he did.
It was funny because that wasn't the original. Was I think one of the original ones was a construction site, and then there was a hazard sign that said cancer, and I think Alfred holding up a sign said cancer, and but it evolved eventually that we were starting to kill Alfred to get rid of him. So. All in the most positive way. By doing that, it was amazing how many people wanted to see the picture and came in, and even the nurses and other people, they would
Yeah.
smile and laugh.
It created a following not only with the staff within the treatment center. It created a following when I post on Facebook. I hear people talk about Facebook as only the good things, positive things that are going on in lives, and I've never really had that. So I wasn't gonna just have this 6-9 month blank out of what was going on. And on top of that, I didn't want any, I thought it was a way for people to feel comfortable about talking to me about what was going on. I didn't wanted to address the white elephant in the room. Yeah, I had no hair, or yes, I'm going through chemo. I'm okay with having that conversation. So I started putting the pictures up and along with, and I was amazed on the following. We would both independently get comments from people from all over the world that we've met, and can't wait to find out what the next picture was.
It did, because it made it approachable.
That's the one thing everyone kept telling me was like, your attitude and your perspective really make a difference. And the support that I've had by talking to people about it and being upfront and happy about it and not afraid has made, I think, all the difference in this journey. He had known all along that him, Jardy, and Custom Air Tray was going to be one, if not the last.
Yeah, well, it was funny because, him, Jardy, Jim, he, I mean, he not unlike many, I mean, would call, ask, hey, how's it going? How's Shelby? And yeah,
their family.
In their support. So we were joking about it one time. Of course, he's asking about the pictures, and anyway, I kind of laughed. I said, it's when it hit me, because we were talking about it. And in my head, I'm like, I need to do one with Air Tray Guy.
You have to share the light to get the light from others around you. A dear friend once told me, and it's been a mantra that I've said over time through this.
Yeah, I think the one thing that we did that ultimately paid off is we embraced it all, and it seems kind of silly. I mean, but we saw,
yeah.
we would meet people, and you could tell the ones that didn't embrace it. They either fought it or they didn't want to talk about it, and I think it's just another added bother on your body that it makes it tough. So we embraced it, we shared it, we always put it out there. You always put it out there, and it allowed everybody that level of comfort. And then you talk, and
Yeah.
I mean, we've a lot of good has come out of a bad situation.
Absolutely.
I've always been part of death care, and I've always heard and I've always known that we're good people, and I joke about it to some extent, almost making fun of how nice we all are. But until really going through this, it's the support, and it's been almost overwhelming. So yeah, wouldn't trade it for the world.